Live. Sweet. All right. That there. Go. Go live. Is that dual? Yeah, dual. All right, there we go. Let's rock and roll. Well, I gotta change the colors of these things right here. Let me get the chair cooking. All right, let me get this chair cooking here. Change the color of this. I don't like all those colors. I think we're live. Yeah, we're live. Tic Tac 420, what's going on? RR join, what's going on? Kevin, what's going on? B, how y'all doing? How are y'all doing? What up, guys? Doing good, man. How about yourself? I like the name Tic Tac 420. That's or underscore 420. That's hilarious. Good to be back in the saddle. Good to be back in the saddle. Hey Nick, what's up? What's going on, Bill? What's going on? Good to be back from vacation. As you can see, I am still white, so I did not get a tan, unfortunately. I tried to avoid it at all costs in the Caribbean. So it was a lot of fun, but good to be back. Good to be back. How's everyone doing? Hope y'all had a good weekend. I mean, there was some interesting price action while I was gone for the past week. I'm happy to be looking at it again. I've tried to film some content when I was out there, but I didn't have as much time as I thought I would. Obviously, trying to enjoy vacation to the best of my ability, but price action seemed to still be chopping around, so we didn't really miss much, which is nice. But hope y'all are doing good. Hope y'all are doing good. Let me change some of these colors here so it's a little bit easier to see. Yeah, I like that better. I honestly like that better. Tic Tac said, I'm waiting for liquidity from metals to move into crypto. Ahmed, what's going on? Welcome back. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. As you can see, I'm still white, so I didn't get a tan, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm still waiting on this drop. It's been kind of just chilling right now, honestly, and we're just kind of in patience mode right now until the drop comes in. And once it does start to drop here, I'm going to start dollar cost averaging and getting some good spot positions. Is that, I always pronounce that wrong. When do you think we'll break 70K? Hard to tell, honestly. I mean, what you can see from, hold on one second. Let me get, where's my box figure that I like? Is it in this one? Let me add this to the favorite. Where's the box? Where is, oh, rectangle. It is in the favorite. Okay, so this like corrective movement, let me change the color of it first, and then so we can like see it better. Maybe yellow? I mean, you can kind of, I don't really like that, but for the cases of this whole box right here has taken a long time, so it's really hard to tell when we're going to break 70. I mean, we're almost there right now, and we kind of broke, what was the high of today? We already broke kind of 70 today, so I think, again, this range right here is going to be interesting, somewhere in like the 70. I said this way back, what was this? What's today's date? I mean, I was saying this back in this region right here, for those of you that have been coming to the lives for the past couple weeks, I was saying we were going to test the 70 to 74K region, like in right around here. I guess fortunately, unfortunately, the correction just lasted longer than what I thought. Originally, I thought this was going to be an A, B, and then we get this bounce C wave. But what we got was an A wave, a B wave, a C wave, and then we got another A, B, C, and then we're in another A, B, C right now. So it's just really choppy. Not a lot of action to really either side. It's just kind of ping-ponging around, which makes sense for a corrective movement. That's why, again, for me, this isn't the bottom. And it makes sense with the wave count because for a WXY, like how that structure develops for corrective movements is you have 3 wave movements inside of each one. So you have a 1, 2, 3, so an ABC for the W, then you have an ABC for the X, and then you have another AB, and then we're in the C for the Y. Could we see further correction and then it turns into, I want to say the further corrective structure is a WXY WXZ, I think is what it's called. Essentially what it means is we were going to see another 3 leg and then another 3 leg and then another 3 leg. So it still can morph into more correction. Let me see. Pack Jaw, what's going on? Do you see us having a bull run later in 2026? I mean, that's really my thesis. So if this is your first time going on the TikTok live, let me go to the monthly chart so you can see it. I mean, my thesis based on where we're at on the wave count is, let me make sure I get this on the frame. This is essentially what I've been kind of talking about now for the past couple months, but from what I'm seeing, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 movement. Essentially, all that means is we have a 5-leg move, and what comes after a 5-leg move is you have an ABC corrective. Now, what's going to be interesting to see is what happens once this expanding flat, basically this structure right here, this ABC, once that expanding flat ends, it's going to be interesting to see what happens off of the bottom because that's going to really determine what comes next. And if we get, a big impulsive wave up with another wave up, for me, that's what my base case thesis is we see a bull run after this correction's done. Only time's going to be able to tell when it ends. I mean, we've been in a corrective movement since basically January of 2025. So that's why we haven't seen any of the euphoria yet. We haven't seen any of the like that greed that you get in crypto. You see it every year. Like 2017 you saw it, then you saw it in 2021. I mean, just everyone's screaming, crypto to the moon. We haven't seen that yet, and it makes sense because this is an expanding flat correction and you don't necessarily see that. So for me, that's just a wave 2. And what I'm anticipating is, give me 1 second. Let me go to the settings here just so I can pull up some of these stuff. Basically, what I'm anticipating for this wave 2 is somewhere in the range of, let me see here. Did I do that correctly? Yeah, somewhere in the range of like basically the 0.5 to the 0.618, this range right here. Let me zoom in a little bit more so you can see it. But basically for wave 2s, they typically fall around the 0.5 or the 0.618 retracement of an entire 5-wave move. And the reason why, that's kind of reason number 1 why I say the 60 to 50K region is a strong bottoming zone, is because wave 2 typically falls in there. So you have this massive wave 1, this wave 2, and then we should get a wave 3, which for me, that does come next. So I think the end of the tail end of 2026, we're going to start seeing some movements up, and that's for me my next target on Bitcoin's 200K. So I think that's sort of the next logical standpoint for me. Do you believe further correction after Y or 5th wave down after? No, I mean not really, just because let me zoom in here. Let me hold on 1 second. So the way that expanding flats work, let me go to the weekly and I'll show you why. So let me get all this in. Give me 1 second. So the way that an expanding flat works is you get something like this. You get obviously the wave 5 right here, and then you get a 3-wave movement down. Then you get this ABC, ABC, ABC for the B, and then you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement down for the expanding flat, and that's been going on for over a year. So for me, I don't necessarily see much more downside after this because inside of this B already, we have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and we're in the 5. And then of the 5th wave, we have almost a 5-wave movement. And we have a 1, 2, 3, we're in the 4, and we should see a 5-wave movement down for the 5. And for me, once that's done, that's the bottom, and then we will start seeing the uptick towards 200K, which is my base case. What do you think of GRT? Great question. I actually personally own GRT. We can look at it. That is something that a lot of people have requested, so we definitely can look at the graph for those of you that don't know the ticker symbol GRT. From a fundamental standpoint, I like it. I do personally own it. I think I'm either even or just barely in the negative right now, but we can look at the chart and I can show you what it looks like from an Elliott wave standpoint. What chart is this for? This is Bitcoin. So this is my Bitcoin chart. This is the daily time frame right now. We were just on the monthly before, but for me, once this 5-leg move down right here happens, for me that's the bottom, and then we should see some uptick towards 200K. Bill said boring. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this whole price action has been boring for the past, I mean, even this short stint right here, which has been going on since beginning of February. So over a month, we've been in just corrective chop. I mean, that's boring, but we've also been in a year of correction. So it's like everything's been really boring. We haven't had that euphoria yet. Good morning from Asia. Shout out Gerald from Asia to the moon. Yeah. I mean, that's what I have next. Based on the chart, based on sort of where we're at, I mean, the greed and fear, what is it? The fear and greed index right now for Bitcoin's at like 15 or 10. The last time I saw it at 10 was August of 2023. And during that period of time, from August of 2023 to basically like, I mean, mid 2024, whenever we had this sort of big run up, like, well, actually, let's go to it. So, I mean, this was the last time I saw the fear and greed at 15 was, let me get it all on a chart here. The last time I saw the fear and greed was August of 2023, and that was right here. So we were at 25K Bitcoin, and then boom, we had this, huge explosive wave 3, wave 4, and a wave 5. So for me, what comes next after this bottoming zone is basically a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that for me is what's next. And I'm targeting 200K for this next wave up is my target. Cool Rock Sound said all I heard is bottoming zone. Yeah, for me this is the bottom, or at least soon. We still have a little bit more downside in my opinion, based on what the chart is showing and what sort of the price action is giving us right now is more downside to come. Once this corrective movement ends and we start seeing impulses to the downside, that for me is when I'm going to start dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, into other alts, and taking advantage of some big discounts. Andrew said, is that Bitcoin? Yeah, so this is the Bitcoin chart. This is on the daily time frame right now. Is it okay to take profits now as the market is going sideways? I guess it would depend on your time horizon and what your strategy is. I mean, if you're looking to short-term trade it, I feel like it's a different story than if you're looking to long-term trade it. For me, I'm a long-term trader with Bitcoin, so I don't necessarily trade these little choppy movements. I look to dollar cost average at good zones, and then from there, buy in and then hold. So for me, once this movement right here, let me move this this box. Once this movement happens, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move down, that's when I'm going to start dollar cost averaging in. And once that happens, for me, those are great buying opportunities for the long term. But if you're a short-term trader, it's different. Like if you're looking to trade the wave 4, like the wave 5 per se, I mean, you could wait till we get up to like maybe 72, take a position and then take it short. You could do that. I'm not advising to do it. It's really up to you and sort of your time horizon around it. But for me, I'm not necessarily looking to trade it. I'm just looking to add to my spot position. History shows that the blood moon tomorrow night may signal the bottom. Have you heard this? I don't. Great question, Robin. I don't really trade off of or trade/invest off of. I guess moon cycles. I guess would be what the. I don't really. I'm not too familiar with it, so I don't really know sort of the concept behind it. For me, I trade based off Elliott Wave 3, which is what I use for just my investing per se, and for me this is what works the best, and it allows me to view the market objectively and make really good decisions on, okay, this is a good bottoming zone, this is a good topping zone, I'm going to look to buy here, look to sell here. I don't really look at any other strategy, so I don't look at liquidity, I don't look at moving averages. For me, the only thing I use is Elliott Wave theory, and that works for me. if I look at other things, it's just going to confuse me. So I typically just stick to one strategy and then use that, because what I've found over the course of trying different things is if you try multiple strategies, I hear it all the time of, let me, let me combine a bunch of strategies for Confluence. For me, it's tough because certain strategies have like pros and cons, and some pros can outweigh the cons of other strategies. So for me, it just gets confusing. So I just stick to the one strategy. FTX crashed at that time too, but thanks for the plot. Yeah, I mean, it could. Again, if that's a strategy that you use, I say keep it, right? Oh, look at the heart. Hell yeah. If that's a strategy you use and it works for you, I'd say go for it. Like if it's a strategy that works for you, do it. For me, this is what I do, and it provides me really good buying opportunities. So this is kind of what I stick to. Are you able to put it on your screen? When you say put it on your screen, what are you referring to? I think I'm confused. Like the chart, because the chart should be on my screen right here. Let me see. Let me catch up. On average, Bitcoin from top to bottom every cycle was at least 364 days. That puts us in October. Are you saying the bottom comes in October? Because I've heard that a lot. I think the problem for that is if 95% of retail thinks the bottom comes in October, that's not going to be the case. And for me, based on my analysis, once we get this last leg down, that's the bottom. And I think what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to be thinking something like this. If I move out on the, let's go to the weekly time frame, just so you can see sort of my thought process behind it. But for me, we already have a 5-wave move in this. Let me get my paintbrush here. We already have a 5-wave move, meaning we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in Elliott wave theory, after a 5-wave move, you get a 3-wave correction. And that's what we're in right now. We've been in it since basically January of 2025. So we're over a year of correction. And once this bottoms, I think a lot of people are going to think we're doing this, right? I see it all the time on crypto Twitter. I see it all the time on everything. And what I'm seeing is, oh, we're going to get a little bit of a bounce and then a dump. That's what I'm seeing all over the place. And I just think for me, that's just not what my strategy is saying. For me, what happens next is impulsive waves to the upside. And my target, again, is 200K for that. Sonny, welcome back. I appreciate it. Vacation was awesome. I didn't really get a tan, unfortunately, but I tried my best. My back is completely burnt, but we're doing all right. We're doing all right. But I do think the bottom, meaning the bottom for this ABC expanding flat, comes in the next 1 to 3 months. Once these final moves come down, that for me is going to be the bottom. Do you think we will bottom approximately 50K range, then go up for wave 3, big right after pulls? Yeah, so my range right now is 60 to 50K. The only thing that's really going to change that is a few things. So if you've been following me for a good bit, let me get this whole thing in the chart. So if you've been following me for a good bit, like my original target was 80 to 70K. The only reason that it changed is because we had this huge explosive wave 3 down, which altered things. But that doesn't really matter. It more so is how do we get the movements correct as opposed to the correct targets. Now, what'll happen is once we get this top here, wherever it ends up topping, is it 73? Is it 72? It doesn't really matter to me. All I know is there's still one more movement down. What will happen is we'll get an initial wave 1 push, then we'll get a wave 2, then we'll get a wave 3. Once those 3 waves happen, it becomes a little bit more clear of where that bottom zone could be, because then all that's left is wave 4 and 5, which is a little bit easier to determine a bottoming zone rather than trying to figure out what this entire 5-wave move is going to look like, because you could get a wave 1, a wave 2, then you could get a super extended 3, a 4, and then a 5. So it could go deeper. But for me, the zone looks like this, and I'll show you why. You basically take the fib retracement from the bottom of wave 3 to the top of wave 4. So say that comes in around 72K. The range for me, again, right here is between the 1 and the 1.618. Typically, the wave 5 targets the 1.618. So anywhere between like 60 to 50K is my dollar cost average zone to buy. Could it get more extended? Sure. Only time and price action will tell. Once we get the 1, 2, and 3, we can determine what a 4 and a 5 will look like. And again, that is only going to, the price action is only going to show that. So it's not really clear right now. But again, the zone I'm looking for is 60 to 50K. Previous comment, please. The chart I sent you on your last Twitter post is the comment section for alts. I can look at it, Salvo, but I want to focus on the Bitcoin chart right now because I'm getting a lot of people are asking about the Bitcoin chart, so I just want to make sure I'm answering that question. Andrew said, "Why would it bottom even lower? Is it not going to go bull now? It passed 70K." So the reason behind it is just my strategy. So in order for me, for the complete bottom, I need to see one last leg lower. The reason behind that is inside of this, let me see if I can highlight it here. So you see this blue 4, that's a larger wave 4, and this blue 5 is a larger wave 5. And with inside of that wave 5, you're also going to have 5 wave movements, which is what's determined, or which is what I noted here by these white sort of what are those, Roman numerals, I think. So inside of this blue wave 5, you're going to have 5 wave moves, and all we've had so far is we're in the 4. So we've had a wave 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. So we're still due for one more leg lower. Until we get that, the bottom is not in. However, once we get that bottom, then we're going to start the up target. So I wouldn't try to chase certain price targets. I would just try to align yourself with the best, or align yourself with the trade. So for me, I have one more leg lower. I spot buy positions, and then I wait for the uptick. Yes, it requires patience, and unfortunately, we've been in corrective movement now since January of 2025. So it's been getting a lot of people frustrated because you haven't really seen that like typical euphoric, bull run, which makes sense based on where we're at in the wave count. Like for this movement right here, when we had the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there was some euphoria and there was some greed, and a lot of it was just pre-pricing in the ETF. And then you get this massive ABC correction, and for me, that's a wave 2. And if you look at Elliott wave theory rules, which is kind of cool to see like the psychology behind it, is after a 5-wave movement, you get an ABC. So for me, this is a massive wave 1, and we're in the 2. And in the wave 2, typically you get a lot of fear, a lot of doubt. You basically get people thinking that this sort of rally won't sustain and it won't continue to go up. And that's why a lot of people right here are thinking bear market and we're not going to go up further, is they think this rally is a false rally and we're going to go down. I've seen some people even say we're going to go lower than 2022 lows, lower than 15K. For me, if everyone is thinking the same thing and all of retail is thinking we're going to do the same thing, I think the opposite's going to happen, because typically that's what happens. So all retail right now is just chasing gold, they're chasing silver, they're chasing copper, they're chasing SPX. Everything that's in its euphoric run and all-time highs after all-time highs after all-time highs. And everyone's ignoring Bitcoin right now, and smart money's buying because it's a great accumulation zone for long term. And that's kind of what I'm waiting to do, is one more leg lower, I'm going to accumulate and then wait for the next move up. And once we get that next move up, we're going to see the altcoin outperformance, we're going to see the Bitcoin outperformance, and you're going to see metals and SPX take some, people are going to be taking profits of that and then rotating in here, because investors are looking for undervalued positions. And what's undervalued right now? Well, crypto is, because Bitcoin's down almost 50% from all-time highs, and a lot of altcoins are down 70%. So for me, it's just trying to find undervalued positions, and for me, Bitcoin, based on the Elliott wave theory and undervaluedness of it, is a great spot to park your money right now. Dave said, "Hey Nick, welcome back from vacation. Can ETH get to 20K in 3 years?" Interesting question. I can do a video on it for sure, and we can do more of a long-term analysis. I try to stick to not hypotheticals, like, really long-term stuff, like 10-year projections, because it gets kind of wonky. But I can definitely project out the next wave. And for me, I think you've seen it, Dave, but my ETH projection right now for this next wave up is around 7,500 for Ethereum. And that'll be the wave 3, and then we'll get a corrective 4 and a 5, probably close to 8 to 10K, somewhere in that region. Now, after that, we'll get a correction, then we'll get another leg up. I don't know if 3 years is the mark. Could it be 5? Potentially, but I definitely could see Ethereum getting to 20K at some point. What price would you invest coming forward? I mean, for me, once this final leg, I'm going to basically tell y'all when I start dollar cost averaging in, but once I just haven't done so yet because I'm waiting for this move to happen. Once this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move happens, that's when I'm going to start dollar cost averaging in, and I'll post a video on it before. GRT, yeah, let me spend like 5 more minutes on Bitcoin, and then let's jump over to the GRT chart because I want to make sure I analyze that for you. RJ, thank you for the rose. I appreciate that. Let's see. Trying to get everything here. From your current thesis, has a leg up to the mid 70s, then a move to the bottom in the yeah. So for me, it's somewhere around 70K. You know, do we push up to 74? Possible. But once we get that push up, I'm still expecting a dump down. We going up soon? Yeah, soon. It's close. It's so close, and I'm waiting for that, obviously, just for the euphoria of it. But once we get this leg down right here, I think a lot of people are going to be screaming bear market, and then what's going to happen is we're going to get this huge impulse off of the low, and I think it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. Zuli, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. I appreciate it, Zuli. Hope you're doing well. I know it's been a while. I was out last week for vacation, so I appreciate the support. I appreciate the support. So Zuli's been in here since like I want to say last year or something like that. So I appreciate you still coming to the lives. Gerald said that's because you took the wave 5 high at 124. Others are taking 125. XRP all-time low July. Yeah, XRP was that. My XRP next target is $6, right, for the 1.618. It could extend, but my next target for XRP is $6. JC, what's up, Nick? Welcome back, bro. I appreciate it. I tried to get tan. I was in the Caribbean, and I tried to get tan, but I'm so freaking pasty that, I mean, look at that. I got nothing. My back is red, but other than that, I'm still pasty as shit. I'm just an Irish man with a red beard. I can't help it. Is that Stan Demand said my confluence has put the bottom on Bitcoin around 58 to 50K. I have a few confluences at that level too. For me, my range is like 60 to 50K, somewhere in there. Once we get this wave 1, 2, and 3, it'll be a little bit more clear. I mean, could we get an extended 3? Could we get an extended 5? Possible, but somewhere in that 60 to 50K region, I think is a high confluence zone. So I will be definitely dollar cost averaging there. What is the highest we can hit in the current upswing? I'll show you. So on the monthly time frame, this is why and where I'm getting my targets from. So the way that you can use Elliott wave theory, again, it's more for projections, and it does typically hit these, but again, it's more for projections. You're just identifying zones, but you take the trend-based fib extension, and then you take it from the bottom of wave 1 to the top of wave 5, and then to the bottom of wave 2. And for me, say that comes in at like 55K. The next zone for me is the 1.618 at 200K, but it can really fall anywhere between 150 to 200. So my next zone is 150 to 200 for this wave 3. The only way we're going to be able to identify a clear topping zone is, again, once we get price action. So we could see like a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5, something like that. Once we get the 1, 2, and 3, it'll be more clear of where this 5th could top out at. But until we get this price action, it's really hard to tell. Wave 3 does typically target the 1.618 though, which is at 200K. We also could extend to the 2.618 at 300. Is it possible? Potentially. But until price action happens, it's really hard to tell what's next. But for me, 200K is my next target. Sunny said genius. I appreciate that. Trey said, bro, after following you for months, your thesis is playing out perfectly. I'm a believer. I appreciate that, Trey. Yeah, I mean, it's been following it pretty closely. Again, I mean, I've had to adjust some of the targets just because some of these waves have gotten extended. Like this wave, this big leg 3 was more extended than I was thinking. But again, it wasn't necessarily a matter of getting price correct. It was getting the movement correct. So if I'm on the right side, that for me, that's what I care about. Am I trying to predict, okay, the wave 5 bottom is going to be at exactly 52 and 300? No, like I can't do that. It's damn near impossible. But if I know where price wants to go, then I can dollar cost average in and take advantage of that. Gaming Assault said, welcome back, bro. I appreciate it. It's good to be back. I'm going to say, like, vacation was awesome, but it's good to be back. I mean, I'm obsessed with this type of shit, so it's good to be back. Good to be hanging back with the stream, hanging back with chat. So I'm loving it. I really do. I love this shit. So I'm very, very happy about the support, but also being grateful to be back. What type of indicators are these? So these aren't indicators. These are just my Elliott wave theory drawings based on the strategy that I use. So everything here is hand drawn. I don't use any indicators. Let's see. Not sure if you answer my question of Bitcoin hitting 200K in 2027. For me, I mean, I don't necessarily trade on time because time is very hard to predict, like when a specific move is going to happen. I trade more on price. So when Elliott wave theory is saying, okay, I have a 5-wave move, then I'm in an ABC, and then we're, for me, close to bottoming, that for me is a great opportunity to buy and then hold for the next target, which is 200K. Does it happen in 2026? Does it happen in, what is that? Sent a gem gun. That was cool. I don't know what, Sunny with the gem gun. That was awesome. The little gun, that was really cool. But I don't necessarily trade on time. You know, could it happen in 2026? Could it happen in 2027? It's really hard to determine. Who would have thought we'd be in corrective movement since January of 2025? I mean, it's a massive expanding flat. And I think because we've been correcting so long, this next impulsive move is going to be very fast and quick. Kind of like April 2025 when we had that huge movement. That was a corrective movement for me. That was an ABC. But again, it was very fast. So I'm very much looking forward to what comes next. My tools also show signs of what you just said. Yeah, I mean, bottom for me is soon. Everyone's saying bottom will be at 45K. I mean, possible if we get an extension. I'm not necessarily concerned about where the bottom comes. It's just what are my zones. And for me, that's 60 to 50K. When will XRP reach the target? Hard to tell. I don't really trade based on time. I do more so on price. So for me, the next price is $6. Stock exchange, the world is one. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Gerald, I saw that. It did close at an all-time high today. What project? This is Bitcoin, but we're about to jump over to the GRT because we had a request for GRT. So how low are you projecting? For me, 60 to 50K. And I'll do this last thing, then let's jump over to the graph because I want to make sure I get that question answered. But if I zoom in here, the reason I'm getting 60 to 50K, I'll show you the two confluences based on the strategy that I use. So you use the fib retracement from the bottom of wave 3 to the top of wave 4, if I can get it. And for me, probably top around 72K. The zone for me is between the 1 and 1.618, which comes between 60 and 50K. So that's confluence number 1 of where I think the wave 5 is going to bottom. Confluence number 2 goes to the monthly chart. And for the wave 2, which is what we're in right now, for the wave 2, it typically bottoms between the 0.5 and 0.618, which is right at 60 to 50K. So this zone right here between the 0.5 retracement and the 0.618 retracement of this entire 5-wave move is right at 60 to 50K. So for me, those are my two confluences of why I think the bottom comes in these two ranges. And only price action is going to be able to determine that. But once we get price action, it'll be a little bit more clear. I am from India, hand pink waving. I can't see that. I don't see the emojis on there. But welcome from India. That's awesome. Isn't it like latest or earliest ship by you? What time is it? Isn't India like 4 a.m. in the morning right now? I appreciate the support, but you got to get to bed. No retest at 90K. The reason I don't think we get a retest of 90K, I mean, it's possible. No, I mean, for me, this would be the invalidation zone right here. So right at this wave 1 right here, which is at 87,193. If price were to retrace over that, this entire wave count is invalidated and we would have to reevaluate. But for me, I don't see price going up that high. If it does, I'd be shocked, but I don't necessarily see a wave 4 push up that high to 90K. For me, it's down then up. That for me is what's going to happen. So how low are you projecting? I think I answered that, 60 to 50K. Okay, I got through all the questions. Perfect. Okay, let's jump over to the graph because we had a question about the graph. And then once we're done with that, John had a question about XRP. Let's do graph then XRP. So give me 1 second. GRT, USD. Where's the spot crypto? I like that one. Okay, so let's go to the monthly. So I think, is that all the price action the graph has? Or am I missing something here? Because I feel like there should be, let's go to Kraken. No. Coinbase, no. Bitstamp. All right, so I'm not honestly unfortunate as it is. Again, I also personally own the graph, but I bought it more for fundamentals. But for right now, until we get impulsive moves, I mean, unless there's price action back here, I don't. Again, the only price action that I can find starts in December of 2020. I think that's when the token launched. I don't have any price action to go off of here. You know, we could see something like this where there's like, you know, maybe there's a movement like this before. So that would mean we're in wave 2, but I don't have enough price action on this chart for whatever reason it doesn't get the price action that I want for this one. So for me, the graph is just in corrective mode. There's really not a lot of price action to go off of to determine, you know, what are the next targets, where are we at? It's really just chopping around until we find a movement like this off of the low. It's really just, you said Mexi? Let's try Mexi. Until we get a movement like this off of the low, it's really, the graph is really just in corrective mode. Where's the Mexi one? Mexi, where are we at? There we are. That one's a little bit better, but we already retraced lower. So if this was truly a wave 1 right here, and this is a wave 2, price can't retrace lower than this wave 1. So price has already done that, which means that that wave 1 is invalidated. So until we get some price action off of these lows, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, the graph is just in corrective movement. There's really not a lot to go off of, unfortunate, because until we get an impulsive move off the low, we're just in corrective movement. What I am seeing, though, with a lot of altcoins right now, based on a lot of their structures, they look to be bottoming soon. Like XRP looks to be bottoming soon. There's a lot of coins that have very similar structures to Bitcoin. You have like this big ABC kind of structure, and they're in their last leg down. Once Bitcoin bottoms, we will see the graph, you know, outperform like typical altcoins do. Anytime Bitcoin pumps, altcoins typically outperform. It can come in waves, like select altcoins outperform, and then it rotates other ones. But until we see these impulsive moves off of the low, the graph is just in corrective movement, unfortunately. XRP, Solana. Yeah, we can do XRP and Solana. Nick, it's Anthony. You're going to do Solana and Ethereum. Yeah, we can do that. I'll do XRP next. We'll do Solana, and then we can do our do Ethereum. Let's jump over to that. So let's do XRP. I think I have everything saved for XRP, but let me make sure. Yeah, most of it's saved, but we can dive a little bit deeper just so I can show you what that looks like. So for me, XRP right now, and you can see this has a little bit more price action for XRP because it's just been around a lot longer. You have a little bit more things to work with and use Elliott Wave tools to your disposal. When you don't necessarily have as much price action, it makes it really hard to determine what's next. So when I typically buy tokens, I try to invest in tokens that have clear price action. So then we know, okay, we're in wave 1, we're in wave 2, whatever wave we're in, we can determine what's next. So the way that I've analyzed XRP right now is you have this massive wave 1, then you have this big ABC corrective wave 2, and then we're in the wave 3 right now. And of the wave 3, which we've already had a wave 1, is, let me zoom in here. So this for me is, we have this wave 1 off the low, then we have this ABC2, and then we'll have a wave 3 towards $6, and then we'll have a wave 4, and then a wave 5 to complete this larger 3. So there's still 3 waves left to go for XRP, which is great because it gives us an opportunity to take advantage of some of this price action right now. But until this correction's done, which jumping into the smaller time frame, let me go to the weekly first. Let's see. Let me get this. So for me, XRP had this wave 1 up. Then we had this wave A. Let me just draw it out. So we have this wave A right here. Then we have an A, B, C, B. And then we're in this wave C right now. And of the wave C, it's kind of hard with this liquidation candle right here. Like it doesn't really like, because you can't have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, and then this wave 4. I mean, you technically could, but this to me just looks very choppy. I mean, the daily, let's look at the daily. We're definitely in a wave C for sure. It's just that liquidation candle kind of throws a lot of things off guard. It just, you can see like it's very choppy. It's like A, B, C, A, then we have an A, B, C, B, and then we have the C wave. Then we have this A, B, C, A wave, A, B, C, B wave, then an A, B, C, C wave, and then we're in this final leg. So like for me, XRP will have probably one more leg down. Let me see. Let me jump to the weekly here just so I can get everything into frame. Let's see where we're at. So on the fib retracement, if we take the bottom of wave 2 to the top of wave 1, I mean, we're kind of sitting at almost, let me zoom in. Let me get this. So typically the wave 2 bottoms again between the 0.5 and 0.618. You also can get a bottoming at the 0.786, which is a deep retracement for wave 2. But we're kind of just, you could see how price action just chopped around at the 0.618 trying to find a bottom. We're probably going to have one more leg lower for, based on the structure and based on what Bitcoin's doing, we're probably going to have something like this, where we have another leg down, maybe towards the 0.786 at like $1, and then we'll start seeing the impulse of waves up towards 6. So for me, I'm just waiting for Bitcoin to do one leg lower on Bitcoin, and then I'm going to be taking advantage of some of this. Kush, hey Nick, any reason MSTR is bouncing? It's kind of like Bitcoin bouncing right now. To me, we can jump over to MSTR later as well. For me, MSTR still has one more leg down. My targets on MSTR is between 80 to 100, and then once we get that final leg down, the next target after that is I want to say it was 950 was my next target on MSTR. We can jump over the chart. From memory, I'm pretty sure it's somewhere around there, but it has a very similar wave structure to Bitcoin. It also has a flat structure. It's not an expanding flat for MSTR. It's more of a, I want to say, I can't remember the term. It's in the flat correction category, but it's not an expanding flat because the wave B didn't go above the wave A. I'm pretty sure it's a regular flat, I want to say. It's not a running flat. I think it's a regular flat is what it's called. Totally agree. Hey, Birdman, what's going on? I like the new picture, by the way. I love the new picture. But yeah, we should see one more leg for most altcoins. We're probably going to see one more leg lower. One more leg lower for Bitcoin, one more leg lower for MSTR. And then once we get that one more leg lower, then we'll start seeing the impulses to the upside. And that's going to be really cool because then we're going to have altcoin season and all these altcoins are going to go crazy. And then the euphoria is going to come in. Then everyone's going to be screaming 500K, a million Bitcoin, super cycle, all the bullshit, right? Like they're just going to be screaming it to high heavens. You're going to have crypto influencers getting paid, getting to shill shit ass tokens, people getting rug pulled. It's going to be the whole fucking shenanigans again. So my advice to you, not financial advice, but also somewhat advice, just be careful with what tokens you invest in because a lot of people are going to be just trying to scam you. They're going to be trying to just guard your seed phrase. If you have a cold wallet, guard your seed phrase. Stay away from phishing emails on Coinbase or Kraken or any exchange. Don't click random scam links. Like once you see this euphoric leg up, people are going to try to steal your shit. Stay safe. Dollar cost average. Take advantage. Don't get greedy. When people are greedy, get fearful. When people are fearful, get greedy. Just do the Warren Buffett. You'll be perfectly fine. And again, I will be providing content on the whole way up. So if you value my opinion and value my strategy, we go live every day, Sunday through Thursday. So feel free to come in. We'll obviously dissect the charts. But yeah, with that being said, let's look at, I think Solana was next. We can go to Solana. And then I think Link was in there too. You think it's in its final leg? Oh yeah, Link also, Logan. Yeah, Link is looking very similar to basically a lot of altcoins. They're due for like one more leg lower. Shoot, I missed the XRP prices. Oh no, this is the XRP prices right here. So my next, and personally, I do personally own XRP. I bought in right here in like this zone. So I'm in around 50 cents and my next target is $6. So that's a nice 10x. I'm going to take profits there. But what we're going to see next is probably something like this. We get one more leg lower. Then we'll get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moving up is kind of what's next for XRP, and honestly a lot of altcoins. Sui, the same thing. We have like one more leg lower. The Big G said, I took a great Bitcoin trade today on the move up. Hey, that's nice. I like it. I don't short-term trade, but if you do, phenomenal if you take advantage of that. Sunny said Pyth. Yeah, we can look at Pyth. I think someone else had actually had a question on Pyth, so we can definitely jump into that. Would you sell, though, if you have holdings, or just let the final leg down happen? So I don't trade short-term. Like, I don't try to trade, 6 months out. I'm more of a long-term hodl. So a lot of the altcoins that I did buy are from like 2022 and 2023, and I've just been holding. I did take some profits on some altcoins, Solana being one of them, because I bought in at, I think, $15, and then it went up to like 225, and I was like, based on the wave count, I was like, wow, this is a massive wave one. I'm going to take some profits. Like, I was satisfied with a 15, 20x or whatever the X was. I was like, this is awesome. Like, I'm going to take some profits, and then, it retraced. But I am not selling anything right now. I'm waiting for the next leg up. I think they're going to be pretty explosive moves. If anything, I'm dollar cost averaging right now and just picking up some more quality tokens. Like XRP is a great example. I mean, from these prices right now, I think we'll retrace to maybe $1.10, somewhere between like $1 and $1.20. That for me is, $1.20 to 6. That's almost a 6x. So that's a great trade. So they're like tokens like that. Sui's a good one. Link was a good one. I like MSTR right now. Personally, I think MSTR is a really good buying opportunity. The chart for me looks very similar to Bitcoin, but the risk to reward is way better because the next target for XRP is 950 based on these fib extensions. And the bottoming zone for me is $80 to $100. So that's like a 10x from those positions, which is a great opportunity. Matt, what's going on, man? $6 XRP. Yeah, that's my next target for XRP, which would be phenomenal for everyone that's held, XRP army is real. Thoughts on Brett? I didn't personally buy Brett. I typically don't really invest in meme coins, but I can take a look at it for sure. I know you're saying it as a joke. His VCoin, his VeChain. Don't get started on VeChain, all right? Don't do it. Don't get. I mean, I'm happy to entertain it, but again, we already had our VeChain laugh. We had the VeChain laugh. Based on the charts, it is suggesting a 50 to 70x, which is absolutely wild. But again, it's a smaller cap token. Can it do it? Possibly. But if VeChain hits a 70x, we're all going on vacation. You are right. I lose 15k USD because of greedy. Yeah, I mean, managing your emotions when investing and trading is probably the biggest challenge that a lot of people face, because when you're up big amounts, you don't want to sell. And when you're down big amounts, you get fearful and sell, which is kind of like the reverse. You want to, not saying that you want to hold till zero, but again, like having a strategy is really key to investing. And that's why I use Elliott Wave Theory. It allows me to take the emotions out of investing, out of trading. I don't have to think. I don't have to be like, well, I hope it does this. I hope it does that. I trade what the chart gives me. And if the chart says up, great. If the chart says down, great. I don't pick a side. I don't say, well, I'm a bull, I'm a bear. I really don't give a shit. It's whatever the chart suggests. And for me, XRP has a massive wave 1 with a wave 2, and wave 3 is next. So, hey, they're great positions. I'm going to start dollar cost averaging and then wait for the up target. Let's go. Another influencer thinks VeChain does well. I will say VeChain from a fundamental standpoint does have a lot of things going for it. It has a partnership with UFC. I think Dana White's partnered with them. So they have a lot of things from a fundamental standpoint going well. And yes, when we looked at the chart, it has a great 5-wave move with a wave 2 and then up. So it should be interesting what comes next. I will be personally, not financial advice, I will personally be dollar cost averaging into VeChain once Bitcoin does its final leg. I think VeChain will retrace a little bit more, and I'm going to get greedy at those prices, and I'm going to buy and I'm going to hold. And if we hit a 50 to 70x, as Sunny says, we're going to Aruba. What was that? Solana. Let's go to Solana. And then we'll go to Ethereum. Let's go to Solana next. Okay, so I think everything's saved. Let me just change some of these colors here before I put it in the screen because I want to make it a little bit more clear. Let's make these white. And yeah, okay. So for me, let me try to get everything in here on the monthly chart and then we'll dive in on like the daily. So this is what Solana's chart looks like on a larger time frame. I don't know if I can hide that and bring it back up, but regardless. So I bought down here in this wave 2 and then I sold in this wave 5 and I took some profits around like 225. So I was fine with that trade, but what Solana looks like right now. So we have a big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement up, and then we have this big A, B, C movement down for a wave 2. We're currently in the wave 3. Now, of the wave 3, we've had a wave 1 and we're currently in the 2. So we've had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave movement up. We had an A, B, C, and then we should see another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave movement up. The next target for me on Solana is the 1.618, which is at $533. So that's what I'm targeting next for Solana. I don't personally own Solana. I took my profits already. I may jump back into it just because the risk to reward looks good. But we're in a wave 2 right now. Of the wave 2, let me zoom in a little bit more just to kind of isolate this area. That might be too zoomed in. So of the wave 2 right now, we've had a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and we're in the ABC wave 2. Once this bottoms, then we should see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement up towards $533. That's what I'm targeting next on Solana. And I mean, from a risk to reward standpoint, it does look pretty good. And Solana's a little bit more clear, and I'll show you why. So like we didn't have, like on XRP, we had that huge liquidation candle, which makes sort of the Elliott wave theory a little wonky because it doesn't really show you clear wave movements. With XRP, we have a little bit clearer wave movements. So you have this wave A, this wave B, and it's almost, you can see similarities to it in Bitcoin because this actually looks very similar to MSTR. So for those of you that have seen MSTR's chart, it has a wave 5 and then it has this a shallow B. It doesn't cross the all-time high, and then we're in the C. Bitcoin, for example, has a wave A, a larger wave B, and then a wave C. So Solana on the daily time frame, if we zoom into this level right here, let me get it on a chart. This structure looks very similar to Bitcoin in the sense that we have basically this wave 1, wave 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, a wave 4, and then we're in the leg 5. So it has 1, 2, a 3, a 4, and then you get one more dump lower for the final leg 5. And then after that, we're targeting $535. So for Solana, there's still one more leg lower based on this flat correction. And once that happens, this is what it'll look like on a larger time frame. So we've had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're in the wave 2, and then we should see a wave 3. Let's see what this looks like on the fib retracement. So which would make sense because if we get one more dump lower, we probably will target somewhere around the $68 range at the 0.786. So that's 0.786 for that. Let's go to the daily. I want to zoom into this wave 4 and see. I want to see what this looks like. So say we get a little bit more of a pump with Bitcoin to like 95. Yeah, so like $67 to $50 is probably a good range for Solana to bottom. And then again, targeting 533 for the next target for Solana based on what Elliott wave theory suggests. So Solana looks like a pretty good one. The chart is clean, so it's a little bit easier to analyze than others, but Solana looks pretty good. How low? For me, Solana's looking like, I think it was what would we just do? $67 to $50. Then once in that range, it's good dollar cost average, and then the next target's 533. Can I request a chart? It's not crypto or Nasdaq. Yeah, absolutely. Throw it in the chat. Happy to look at it. We did Solana. Oh, we got to do Ethereum next because I know Anthony wanted to look at Ethereum. But any questions on Solana before I jump off to Ethereum? Solana should bottom between like 60, basically 70 to 50. And then once we get Solana's bottom, Nifty, yeah, we can look at Nifty. I don't know if I've ever personally pulled up the Nifty chart, but we can definitely look at it. All right, so let's go to Ethereum, because I know there was another question on Ethereum. I think everything's saved. Yeah, so I saved a lot of stuff, kind of just tracking sort of the movements here. So let me zoom in on... that's not all in there. Let me get this all in here. So let me move this out of the way, this out of the way, make this yellow so it's easier, make this white. Okay, so for Ethereum right now, let me just zoom in a little bit more. There we go. So we've had the wave 1 right here. We've had the wave 2, and for me, this is the first wave 1, wave 2, and then we should see a 3, 4, and a 5 to complete this larger wave 3. It's very similar in the sense that it's kind of following sort of the Bitcoin chart, for example, and my invalidation level on Ethereum is this wave 2. Oh, wait, you can't see that. My invalidation level is this April low. So if we go lower than $1,385, if price were to go like retrace lower than that, this wave count would be off and that would be invalidated and we'd have to reevaluate. And if that were to happen, this is essentially what I would think this would be. So we'd have this wave 1 right here, and then this would just be a massive A, B, C correction. And then we're gonna resume the uptrend. It could happen. I don't necessarily see it happening just based on the smaller wave count, but it could. If price were to retrace lower than 1,385, I don't see it happening just based on the daily chart. And on the daily chart, we have sort of this, if I can zoom in on it, we almost have like kind of similar to Bitcoin. And let me zoom in a little bit more. So we have this wave 1, 2, 3. We're in the 4, which got a little bit more extended. And then we should see one leg lower for the wave 5. And if we were to get that wave 5, let's see. So if price were to retrace up to like 2,200, we would look between 1,700 and 1,400. So as long as it stays above 1,385, the wave count's valid. If we retrace lower than that, it'll change things. But based on the 1 to the 1.618 falling between 1,700 and 1,400, I don't see price retracing lower than that. So, and then after that, once this final leg down happens for Ethereum, the next target for me for this, what is this? Live will end. We have, no, not inactivity. Do this thing. Okay. So once this happens, this will be the wave 1, wave 2, and then this will be the wave 3. And my next target on that is 7,500. That's my next target for Ethereum. This is the weekly candles right here. This is the weekly, but this is the monthly. So the monthly looks like this. If I can get everything in, it's kind of hard to get everything in the screen on the monthly. So I try to drop down. Well, I could probably get everything in there. Let me see. Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. So we have this initial wave 1, wave 2, and then we'll get a wave 3. And for me, the next target on Ethereum is 7,500. I am currently still in Ethereum. I haven't sold any. Guarantee we get a counter rally. Bearish at lows is so cringe. I'm not bearish by any means. I'm just hoping and praying. You must be new to the lives because I'm not bearish. I don't take a bullish or bearish side. This is just what the analysis shows, and I've been tracking Bitcoin now for the past couple months. And for those of you that have followed me for the past couple months, I feel like I've been pretty spot on. I like to be pretty humble. I try my best, but I feel like I've been pretty spot on the past couple months as far as what price action has done. And if anything, I'm bullish when people are bearish because once this final leg down happens, my next target for Bitcoin is 200K. Dropping to 1400, you said somewhere in that range. Based on what the chart is suggesting, between like 1700 to 1400 will be the bottom, and then the next target 7500. Thoughts on hype, please? Yeah, we can look at hype. ETH above 2.4K is my entry point to the up. ETH above 2.4K is my entry point to the upside. Yeah, I mean, I haven't sold any of my Ethereum. I still own it. I probably am going to add some more on this dip, just to dollar cost average for more long term. But for me, my next target's 7,500. So a good entry for Ethereum. I would say, again, not financial advice because I can't legally provide it. I used to be able to. I have my Series 6 and 63, and I could actually provide financial advice, but at this point, I can't anymore. But my opinion is this next leg down for Ethereum in this, like, let me see if I can get it in the chart here. Give me a second. Ooh. This range. Oh, that's not zoomed in. Give me 2 seconds. Basically, anywhere between this range right here, 1700 to 1400, for me is a great dollar cost average zone. And that'll be what I look to do is, you know, on this dip down, dollar cost average in, and then wait for 7,500. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. What would the target lows and target high for Link? We can go to Link. Ash said, is it possible Wave C ended at around 70K? For Bitcoin? I mean, not really, because it's possible. The only thing that's kind of not dampening that, but the only thing that is you see it right now, we're almost at 70K and we're kind of pushing up. For me, we're still waiting for another Wave C bounce, because we've had an ABC, we've had an ABCX, and then we had this AB, and we're still waiting for the C wave to complete. And for me, it's still between like 70 to 74K, and then we'll get the final leg down, and then we'll get the impulses to the upside. 1400 to 70, yeah. Oh, what's up, Sam? How's it going? Welcome back. Hope you had a good vacation. It was great. Hope your vacation was good. When you get a chance, can you look at Pengu? God bless. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. God bless you as well. Yeah, we can look at Pengu. I want to make sure. I think we did Sol, we did ETH, we did XRP. Nifty was next. I'm just trying to remember which chart requests were next. I know Nifty was next. And then I think Hype. We'll do Nifty, Hype, and then let me just scroll through the chat. I think, and then Link. Yeah, we'll do Nifty, Hype, and then Link. Those are the 3 next ones. 78K at least, 76K at least. I mean, it's possible. For me, let's see. Usually, the Wave C is the direct wave of wave, or the Wave C is typically the length of Wave A. So if that happens, the Wave A would be, the Wave C would come in around 71,000. To me, it looks like it's probably going to extend a little bit more. But for me, I'm not trying to time the tide. It doesn't really matter to me. Once this Wave 5, this 1 through 5 happens, that's what I care about. How come Bitcoin pumped considering the global extreme tensions, or is it detached doing its own thing? I don't really focus on news, because if, like, I was pricing in all of this shit pre-news, like, so for example, like on the weekly, when I was talking about Bitcoin back in December, this is what the chart looked like. So the blue one, or let me change these to maybe pink. I just want like a lighter color, orange. Let's go orange. So these orange 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the larger moves, and then these white ones are like the sub waves. So when I was talking about Bitcoin back in December, I was expecting this movement down, this Wave 5. A lot of people were hating on me, saying that the bottom was in here and we're going to do this. Everyone was saying, you know, we're going to go up, and I was wrong. And lo and behold, price corrected. Like, everyone kept saying Bitcoin can't go below this, can't go below this. Again, I don't really trade news, and what I thought was going to happen based on this wave count is we had the Wave 1, the Wave 2, the Wave 3, and we're in the 5th. when I was talking about this prior, I knew we were in the wave 4, and when I was expecting another leg down. And then what happened was you had this wave 4, and then you had this wave 5, and then you have, you know, the global tensions that are going right now, the Epstein file release, the government shutdown. Like, you had all of these news events that people used as sort of a, what's the word I'm looking for? They used it as like a reason that price did that. They're like, oh, the reason that price dumped so fast and the reason that price declined is because of all this negative news. For me, the chart was already telling me that this was going to happen regardless. Like, it didn't matter what the news was saying. I didn't really give a shit about the news because oftentimes you see negative news at bottom and positive news at top. So it's like, you can't really pay attention to the news, unfortunately, because it'll lead you astray and it'll make you have bias. So for me, I already knew we were going to have a leg 5 down, and then it just happened. The news came out and everyone was like, oh, the news, it's cratering Bitcoin. No, Bitcoin was going to correct regardless of the news. But I hope that helps. I mean, for me, I just stick to the strategy and then let the news kind of do what the news does. Tao, please. Oh, hey, what's up, Justin? Well, I did a deep dive analysis on TikTok on Tao. It's I think a 2-minute video. I did post that, I think, last week. So if you want to watch that, you can, but we can also look at Tao on stream too. I can definitely do that. I just haven't looked at it yet. Yeah, Gerald said as a bias. Yeah, they looked at it as a bias. It was always, oh, well, the news is doing this, so price is doing it because of the news. No, price was going to do it regardless of what happened. Asha, would you please take a look at the MACD on the 30-minute and brief me where it can approximately go? So I don't trade MACD, so I don't necessarily know like the ins and outs of MACD. I just purely trade Elliott wave theory. I don't use any other indicators. I don't use moving averages, RSIs, MACD. I don't use any of that stuff. I just use Elliott wave and I draw all this stuff by hand. Like, all of these things are what I put on the chart. I didn't, you know, this isn't like there's no template for this, or there's no like indicator for this. This is all me purposely using this, like, and drawing out the numbers. So I don't use any indicators. I wouldn't even have an ability to guide you on it because I don't know how it works. You follow a weekly candle. I do. Basically, the candles that I trade or invest on is monthly, weekly, and daily. I don't really go lower than that. But let's go over to Nifty because I know there's a question on Nifty. Nifty, the Nifty 50, the Nifty 50. That's a cool name. The Nifty 50. All right, so we're on Nifty. Hey, where are you from? I'm from the United States. I'm located in Georgia. Is where I'm at. So let's go to, yes, Nifty. All right, let's get into Nifty. So let's first analyze it on a long time frame because that'll give us some oh shit. Okay, this goes back far. Okay. All right, let's see what we're working with here. All right, so initially what I see just off, oh wait, let me make sure it's all in here. So initially what I see on Nifty is this 5-wave movement right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for me, that's a wave 1. This is just a complex 2, and then you get this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 3, wave 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you get this correction, and then we start a new wave up. So, I mean, this almost looks like we have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and then a wave 5 here. Now, my question is, how much did this correct? That only collected to the 0.382, so that's not, this honestly looks like a massive correction. And that is what? That's 2008. That would make sense. Okay. I mean, this is definitely a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. This is definitely a 2. I mean, this is a massive correction. So is that the start of another 5-wave move? That's the question. All right, let me zoom into this a little bit more. So I think this is definitely a 1. This is a 2. Now the question is 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, that's a 3-wave move. This doesn't go further down. So this is a 4. And you have this 1, this 2, 3, 4, 5. And a correction down here. Then you have a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we definitely have a 5-wave movement on the monthly. It kind of looks like this on Nifty. Now, it could be an extended wave, but it looks like we have a 1, 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. And in each one of these, we have a 5-wave move. So we have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. So that's wave 1. Then you have this A, B, C, 2. Then you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 3. Then you have this massive 4. Then you have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, leg 5. Okay, so that gives us a 5-wave move. Then we have this correction here, which honestly seemed to be some level of a shallow correction. But nonetheless, now after analyzing this on the bigger time frame, let's analyze this current structure, this thing right here. This current structure right here. Let's analyze this to figure out, okay, where are we at? So let's zoom in here on this chart and see where we're at. So we have basically this big correction in 2020. Then what do we have next? Well, we have a wave 1, we have a wave 2. This looks to be like a 3, a 4, and then we're in the 5. So we should get one leg up on the 5th leg. Let's just make sure all these rules are validated. So that actually can't be a 3. Yeah, that can't be a 3 because it didn't go further than wave 1. So that can't be a 3. I mean, there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moving up here. A wave 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Let's see. 1, 2. This can't be a 3. It almost looks like an extended wave, to be honest, on the monthly chart, because this is a massive wave 1, a massive wave 2, and it almost looks like we have a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 2, then we have this 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with a 4 and a 5 here. I mean, there's definitely more room to the upside of Nifty. It almost looks like we have a wave 2 and we're in an extended wave 3. And what that could mean is, in order to validate this wave 1 target for Nifty, we have to at minimum get to 26,000, which we didn't get to, I don't think, yet. Did we top that? What was the high of that? 26,277. I mean, technically we passed it. I mean, it's very slightly past it. So technically it does validate the rule. So if that is truly a wave 3, a wave 4 would be somewhere around 29K. So that would make sense. And then of this, let me look at this right now. So this is, if this is a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and then we have a 1, 2. Now this almost looks like a 1 ABC, and then we should get the 2. Let me make sure this didn't, or this doesn't, the wave, does that invalidate? It does not, so that's technically an expanding flat movement. Okay, so for me, I mean, Nifty definitely has more room to run. So we have a wave 1, a wave 2. This technically is a wave 3. I mean, we have a 5-wave movement up, and it does pass the higher, it does extend longer than the wave 1, so it validates the rule. Then we have this wave 4, and then we have a wave 1 with an A, B, C, and then we should see a wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5. So it technically does have 3 more legs to run. The next target for Nifty is, based on this being a wave 1, we're in the 2. The next target on Nifty is right around 30,000. That would be the next target on Nifty. Based on this being a wave 1, we're in the ABC 2, and then we'll get a wave 3 right around 30K. So that's my next zone for Nifty. Should be similar to SPX. Very kind of similar to SPX. For me, SPX is in a different territory. SPX actually has that we're in the fifth leg right now, which is a little bit different than Nifty, because if you look at SPX's chart on like a long time frame like this, like Nifty, for example, has a 5-wave move with a correction, and then we're in the next, move up. For SPX, I think we analyzed it just so you can see the comparison. For SPX, I analyzed it one day. Where did I save that chart? It's not saved on there. Why? We did it on stream a couple weeks ago, but basically, what's all that shit? Okay, so we basically had, or no, it was gold. Gold, that was different. I don't know if we did SPX, but it's kind of similar. Yeah, kind of similar to SPX in that aspect. But yeah, my next target on Nifty would be around 30K, based on what this is showing in the smaller time frame. Explain me at any chart in 3-minute time. I don't do 3-minute time frames. I only do monthly, daily, and weekly. I don't go lower than that. Take a trade on the 3-minute chart on Ethereum. I don't do 3-minute candles. That's way too volatile for me. And while you can use Elliott Wave Theory on it, it's less reliable. Raj, what's going on, man? Welcome. I appreciate you showing up. What were the charts that you wanted to look at again? I forgot. I want to make sure I knock those out. But yeah, I appreciate it. It's great to be back. I want to get my first eval. Any advice after I pass? What happens? I don't use any prop firms or anything like that. So I don't necessarily have any advice for you when it comes there. If that's what you're referring to. Thanks. I bought that book you recommended. Yeah, the Elliott Wave Theory. I don't have it up here. It's by Steve Sinclair. Elliott Wave Made Simple. It's great. I love it. What was the next one after Nifty? Was it Hype? Yeah, Hype. I think that's what it was. Hype. Oh, let me type there. Hype USD. Which one has the most price action for those of you that have bought? I don't own any Hype, so I don't. Which one has the most price action? Maybe Bitstamp. Oh, that. What is that? Just a straight fucking line up and down? What is that? Good gravy. Look at that. Just all right, so Hype. I mean, I don't really see anything on it unless, I mean, that one's a little, they're all there. Which one has the most price action? Does anyone know? Kraken? They all look the same. They all just look like just up, down. If anyone knows where the Hype chart is, that would be great. Maybe Bybit? I mean, that one's a little bit better. The Bybit one's a little bit better. I mean, at least it has some structure to it. But maybe Hype US. No, that's the perp. Maybe USDT. Maybe that had. Maybe. I mean, that one's a little bit cleaner. Let's go to the daily. See, the thing is, I don't really trade like newer launch tokens. I mean, this just came out a year ago, so it's really hard to determine kind of what's next. I mean, technically, this could be a wave 1, and then this could be a wave 2, but the price, let's see. Let me just zoom in more. Let's see. I mean, I'd have to go smaller than the daily, and I don't necessarily want to do that. I mean, this could be a wave 1, a wave 2. 1, 2. This is wonky ass price action. To be honest, Hype's just not really. I mean, there is like movements, but it's not very clear is the problem, because I'll show you why. So if I go to the weekly, like there's really not a lot of clear price action, and like once we get to this zone right here, like you could say this is a wave 1 and then all of this is a wave 2, this whole zone. But even this like initial push up, it's the price action is just so choppy. It's really, and this whole thing right here is just chop city. So it's definitely not impulsive. I don't really trade newer tokens because there's not a lot of price action to go off of. It's very hard to do. I wouldn't really be able to give any advice on hype, to be honest. The price action just doesn't necessarily look. Ellie Wave, Steve Sinclair, yeah, that's it. Show me your balance. No, I'm not going to be doing that. Good morning, bro. I'm a shill leader and I can boost things with verified Twitter raids for real traction. Yeah, we don't do any shills, any raids. We don't do any of that. We are authentic community. We don't do none of that crypto scam bullshit. No rug pulls, no fucking scam shit. If you like the scam rug pulls, if you like the telegrams and all that bullshit, you get the fuck out. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like that. No, we're not crypto shillers. All right, no paid promos. I'm not taking money from crypto projects to pump shit up. I will get very frustrated at that. I'm a man of principle. I don't take money to pump projects to rug pull on retail. So if that is you and you're a bot, get the fuck out. Wi-Fi has a good Whiff has a good Elliott Wave on the weekly. I'll take a look at Whiff. I'm not opposed to it. If it got some good Elliott Wave traction, I'm down. Lance, what's going on? What's up, Nick? What are your thoughts on Bitcoin going forward? We can certainly jump into Bitcoin, but what was after hype? Oh, Link. I need to go to Link first. We'll go Link, then we'll go Bitcoin, because I know, Lance, you had joined a little bit later. We were going through Bitcoin in the beginning, so I want to make sure I answer your question. Let's do Link first, then Bitcoin, and then after that, let's go to whatever chart y'all want to do next. Montreal said you're awesome. I appreciate it. I hold still. I hold firm. I'm a man of principle. I don't take no fucking money for... And I apologize for my cussing. If that's not, I cuss a little bit. I'm working on it. I'm giving up cussing for Lent. I'm really trying, but when I get amped up, my jersey comes out and I start cussing. So I try to not cuss as much as I possibly can. Oh, Pengu, that was it. Okay, Link, Pengu, Bitcoin. That's what we're gonna do, because I know Sam had recommended or had requested Pengu before. So let's do that. Shit, what was the next token? Link. Losing my mind over here. Did all my stuff delete? Dang it. Now I gotta redo it. Nonetheless, so Chainlink, let me get everything into screen. These are monthly candles. So just letting everyone know these are monthly candles. Chainlink for me, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Boom. Wave 1. Now, so far we've had this ABC2. That's a wave 2. Let me mark that out on the old chart here. So we have a wave 1, wave 2. We're in the 3. Then we should get a 4 and a 5. I'm just going to mark the 4 and the 5 off the screen because I can't fit everything in the vertical on TikTok. So I just kind of got to move them out of the way for now. If you're on the horizontal, if you're on the horizontal, again, on the TikTok, if you hit the little square thing in the corner, it switches to vertical, horizontal rather. So if you want to see the full screen, just hit the corner and it switches it on you. I'm broadcasting on TikTok in both, so I have horizontal and landscape, so just take your preference. But this is essentially what's next for Link. So we have a wave 1, a wave 2, we're in the 3. And of the wave 3, this is what we've had so far. An initial wave 1, this complex 2, we should get a 3, 4, and a 5 to complete this wave 3. And I wish most of my stuff saved on it. I am very frustrated with this, but this is a complex sort of A, B, C, D, just choppy, complex wave 2. All you need to know is it's a wave 2. So we have this wave 1, we're in the 2, and then we should see another 3, 4, 5 to complete this larger wave 3. For me, my next target on Chainlink is, give me a second. The next target on Chainlink for me, I want to say it was somewhere around like $36. Yeah, $36 is my next target on Chainlink. and then we should see a little bit of a correction, then a wave 4. It could extend. I mean, Chainlink, just the base case target is 36, using Elliott wave theory as a guide to basically target what's next. I am anticipating a little bit more downside on Chainlink for a lot of altcoins. Honestly, they're still one leg lower. Bitcoin's still one leg lower. When that happens, they're going to be great dollar cost averaging opportunities. What's a good dollar cost averaging opportunity for Link? I think once, let me go to the weekly. Let's see. Because Chainlink has this like weird, funky, complex structure, it's very hard to track. But let me get everything in the screen here. So basically, here we go. Okay, so what we have on Chainlink right now is a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5. So that's why this is the wave 1. And then we have this ABC movement down. Then we have this sort of weird B. Then we have another ABC movement down. Then we have another ABC. And then we have another like ABC. So of this liquidation candle kind of throws a lot of things off. Like, the reason I say that is because this can't be a 1, 2, 3. I mean, I guess technically it could. It just looks very weird just because we had this huge drop, and it just makes the price action look a little bit weird. But I'm anticipating one more drop for Chainlink. I think what we were targeting for Chainlink is somewhere between like 7 and... Where's my fib tool? Where is that? Yeah, because you could see right here, and this is why I love these like Elliott wave rules and these fibbed like target things, is you can see how price action just reacts off of these levels. So when we're dropping down, right, we drop down to the 0.618, then we pump up, then we drop down to the 0.786, then we pump up, then again we drop down to the 0.618, not once, twice, 3. I mean, we just chop around this 618 level, and then we're kind of chopping around this 0.786. I do think we come lower, probably to like $7, maybe $6, $7 to $6. I do think we get one more leg lower past these lows right here. So for me, I'm expecting one leg lower, kind of following Bitcoin. And for me, a lot of altcoins are very much in similar phases, meaning they're due for one leg lower. And you and I both know when Bitcoin goes down 3, 4, 5%, altcoins crater, 5, 10, 15%. That's why I'm expecting probably Link to get down maybe to like, I don't know, somewhere in that $7 range. And for me, that'd be a good dollar cost average level. So once Bitcoin drops, altcoins will drop. And once those altcoin drops, I'm going to be taking advantage heavy because they're going to be really good buying opportunities. Whip after Bitcoin. Okay, we can do that. Hi everyone, could you quick check for Litecoin? Yeah, we can do Litecoin. I think I have everything saved on Litecoin, so I might not have to do a full analysis on Litecoin, but yeah, we can jump over to Litecoin for sure. Raj said, what if it doesn't go down from here? I mean, when I show you the Bitcoin chart, Raj, you'll see what I mean. For me, again, based on the wave count, I would love for it to continue pump. It's possible that I'm wrong and Bitcoin does pump up, but from what I'm seeing on not only Bitcoin but a lot of other altcoins, unfortunately there's more downside. It sucks for me too, right? Like, because I also have to weather the storm of, okay, I'm in a lot of positions. I don't want to see my current balance retrace another 10, 15, maybe 20%. I don't know if we get to 20%, but again, it's hard, right? I mean, you look at your portfolio and you're like, fuck, like another 10% off, another 20% off. But with all that being said, those pains are going to be short term, in my opinion, and then we're going to start seeing this huge, massive outperformance, and that's what's going to drive a lot of the altcoin outperformance. Bitcoin's going to get back to positive. There's going to be new all-time highs, again, in my opinion, based on what I'm seeing. And once Bitcoin's up there, people are going to get greedy again. They're going to funnel into altcoins, and then altcoins are going to outperform, and then you're going to get Bitcoin sitting at 150 to 170, and then altcoins, every time Bitcoin moves up 5%, altcoins are moving up 20, 30%. So I think there's more short-term pain, but for long-term gain. Daily bull flag was broke. You think we are going to go back down and build resistance on daily Bitcoin? I'll show you on Bitcoin. So I want to do, we did Link. Next was Pengu. Yeah, next was Pengu for Sam. Pengu's next, and then oh, I didn't even spell that right. Next is Pengu, then we're going to Bitcoin, then we're going to WIF. Do you know which Pengu chart has the most price action, Sam? Do you know which one has the most? I'm just going to click a bunch of them and see which one has like the most. I mean, this one has a decent amount. Then Litecoin, yeah, we can do Litecoin. So Bitstamp, I mean, that one doesn't have as much. That one doesn't have really that much. Kraken, I mean, that one looks very similar. Let me try USDT. Maybe Binance has a little bit more. Not really. Not really. I mean, this one kind of looks the best, unless Mexi, no. HT. I'm just clicking a bunch of them to see which one has the most like price action. I don't know which one has the most. Yeah, I'm not sure either. Let's just go back to the US. Let's go back to the, I think it was the Kraken one has a decent amount of price action. Because I think the token was launched in 2025, if I remember correctly. So I'm pretty sure this one probably has the most price action. And again, I just want to preface it too, I don't necessarily invest in like newer tokens that launched like within a year. The reason behind it is it's very hard to do Elliott Wave theory on recently launched tokens because there's not a lot of price action to go off of. You don't have like a lot of price history to say, okay, I have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4. A lot of times when tokens launch, they just kind of chop around, they decline quickly, then they shoot up, and it's very hard to determine an Elliott Wave count because there's just not enough price action. But we're going to try an attempt here for Pengu and see what we can do. If Pengu doesn't retrace lower than the April lows, this could be considered a wave 1 and we're in the 2. Now, the only question is, of this wave 1, I mean, we technically have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and then a wave 5. So we do have a 5-wave move up, which is good. And then we have this, you know, just complex corrective structure down. You know, we have this A, B, liquidation C, then we have an A bounce, then we have this, then we have this. So it's still in corrective movement. I do think, and this is the case, like you can see, right? We were just on Chainlink and the structure looks very similar, right? Like a lot of these altcoins look very similar. They have like these, like just choppiness, liquidation, pump back up, choppiness, pump, choppiness. I mean, look, take a mental image of this right here. Just look at this structure right here. You see how it like just mental image this structure. And then when I go back to XRP, I think look very similar to this. But if I go back to XRP, I mean, look at this structure, right? Look at this structure right here. It looks very similar. Let me bring it down a little bit. It looks very similar, right? You get this like chop, liquidation, pump, chop down, pump, and then we're in a dump. So they look very, very similar. And again, that's why I do think we're going to have, where's the Kraken one? We're going to have a little bit more downside for Pengu. Now, what we can do, assuming this is a wave 1 and then we're in the 2, is target out a wave 3. So top of wave 1, bottom of wave 2, maybe we come down to like 0.005. You know, maybe we come down a little bit lower than this low right here, and then we shoot up. For me, that's probably what's going to happen, and that's going to happen for a lot of altcoins. We go a little bit lower than the, what is that? The February 6 lows, and then we pump back up. The next target using this analysis of, let me go to the monthly so I can get everything into chart here. The structure is going to look weird, but because it's not on the daily, but the next target, assuming we hit like 0.005, is 0.07, would be a wave 3 target. And essentially what we would have is a wave 1, a wave 2, and then we'd have this wave 3 going up towards 0.07 for Pengu. And what you're going to see is a wave 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5, you know, somewhere in this, call it 0.05 to 0.07 range. That for me is what would be next for Pengu, using the rules and the strategy of Elliott Wave theory. Again, it's not necessarily geared for like smaller market cap tokens, newer market cap tokens with not a lot of price history. We can use it as a guide, but it can be less reliable because of the volatility, because of how new tokens are, and, you know, are there enough market participants or enough people buying this token? You don't necessarily have that with like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Nifty that we looked at, gold, like MSTR, charts with longer price history and more volume and a bigger market cap. They tend to follow Elliott Wave theory cleaner, but it's still a guide. We can still use it. And based on what I'm seeing, as long as we don't retrace lower than the April lows at, what is that, 0.003, this wave count is valid. And we would have a 1, 2, and a 3, and the next target for the 3 is the 1.618 at 0.07. So good things on the horizon for Pengu. I don't personally own any, but I think using this, it does look like this has some pretty serious power. And I know the fundamentals behind it are relatively decent, at least from what I've seen. Yeah, they do look similar. What altcoin do you think has a 6 to 8x potential in the upcoming bull? I mean, we were just looking at XRP, and that has a 6x potential for sure. XRP has a 6x. Even Ethereum has a 6x from right here. Chainlink, another one, has, you know, about a 6x potential. I'm trying to think of what other. I personally am looking at MSTR. Again, not financial advice, but MSTR has a really good risk to reward right now. And for me, my next targets are about an 8 to 10x from these lows. So even that is a good viable option. I use Coinbase or Binance usually. Yeah, I only use Coinbase. I buy my tokens on Coinbase and then I send them to my cold hardware wallet. Let's see. Do you have custom fib levels? Do you show this on YouTube videos? So I don't have any custom fib levels. I just use what the standard sort of fibs give you. However, I will start doing longer form content. Yes, so that is part of the plan. We've had a lot of people ask for longer form content, so that is something that I'm going to start doing. Yes. What is that? Who is that asked that question? CUE. Yes, I will start doing longer form content, and on that longer form content, I will be diving deep and showing like monthly time frame, weekly, daily, all the fib targets, all that stuff. Solana too. Yeah, Solana has I'm pretty sure Solana at these levels has about a 6x potential right now too, based on the next fib targets. What's your thoughts on Aerodrome? I don't have any of that. I don't really know it too much. I wouldn't be able to give any. Oh, Pyth. Yeah, sorry. We didn't do Pyth. Ah, Sonny, you asked Pyth so long ago. Okay, so we did Pengu. Let's jump into Pyth real quick, and then we're going to go to Bitcoin, because Lance had a question on Bitcoin, and that was next. But I know, Sonny, you asked for Pyth a while ago, so I want to make sure I get to that. So the only problem I'm seeing with Pyth is this what the chart looks like on Pyth? Is it just straight down? Like, is that, like, does the chart just look like this? Because that's what I'm seeing on all the Pyth charts. I just see like just straight down. Unless I'm looking at something different, like Binance. Everything is just straight down. Unless USDT, maybe that will do something different. Yeah, I wish I could give you better news, Sonny. Well, that one's a little bit better, but still invalidates that, so that wouldn't count. I mean, maybe this one. That's a massive candle. Holy shit. I mean, it's hard to tell. Like, so all these charts are different. So I don't really, like, this one has it. I mean, it could be a wave 1 with a wave 2. You know, I guess you could technically consider this a wave 1, but just all these charts look so different. So I'm like, I don't know which one is the best option, because some of them just show this straight down. Some of them show it, you know, with this big liquidation or big pump candle. And if we were going off Bybit exchange, then, you know, technically this could be, but I don't even know if I can consider that a wave one, because in order for it to be a wave one, we need a 5 wave up. And the only thing I'm seeing is wave one, or like an ABC movement. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'm seeing is this big ass candle. And then this, so unfortunately, I really can't do anything with Pyth, if I'm being honest, Sonny. I wish I could give you a better understanding of this, but I can't consider this a wave one. There's just not enough evidence to think that this is a wave one, because you just have this massive candle, which looks like it's like token launch here. It drops, it has a pump, and then it's just been liquidating ever since. There's really nothing to go off of to determine if this is corrective or not. Yeah, it's pretty new, so it's hard. I mean, I think next, like whenever we end up topping out for, I guess, this cycle, however you want to call it, you know, once Pyth is in the ecosystem for another 2-3 years, we'll have some price action to go off of, and then I can determine, you know, what's next. But until then, it's kind of just in corrective mode, unfortunately. Sam said, "Sweet analysis are a good thing. Good thing it's whenever Bitcoin pumps, Pengu flies. So if your theory is correct, we make money." Yeah, 100%. I mean, based on what I'm seeing on Pengu, again, like it's like typical altcoins, right? You get Bitcoin does like a 5%, either up or down. It doesn't really matter. Like if Bitcoin pumps 5% or dumps 5%, altcoins will do a 10% or 15% pump and then a 10 or 15% decline. So using that into the equation, you also have the ability to say, okay, if Bitcoin goes to 200K, which again, that's my thesis, once we get this leg down to this leg up, I mean, altcoins are going to outperform. When do you think the next wave 3 will start finish? Good question, Alex. It's really hard. The problem with, or not the problem, the sort of con with Elliott wave theory is there's no rules for time. It's all price driven. It's all wave count driven. Essentially what you have in terms of like your disposal, let me move this chart out of the way so you can see this. Like there's no rules around time. Essentially how, and the way that the book describes and the way that Elliott wave theory, if you study it, is you get 5 wave movements to start, and then once that's done, you get a 3 wave movement down, then you get another 5 wave movement up, then you get a 3 wave movement down. So the way that's how the theory works. There's no real like rules around, okay, once wave 1 ends, wave 3 should end by this specific time, and then wave 4 should end in, you know, a year from the end of wave 1. It's more price driven, so you don't really have a lot of rules around when they start and finish. Unfortunately, the only thing you have a guide for is what wave count are we in, and that's what I use is, okay, I see a wave 1, a wave 2, and a wave 3 on the chart. What's next is a wave 4 and a 5, and then after that we get an ABC down. So I use these waves as guides to determine, are we topping or are we bottoming? Are we somewhere in the middle? But there's no real rules around like time. This is Loki next year before we see that though, right? Not necessarily. So for me, the thesis that I have, let me jump over to Bitcoin because that was next, and I'll show you what I mean. Because it'll be a little bit more clear when I show you on the chart, but let me pull all this into frame here. Give me a second. Let me see, did I get all that into frame? So you can see it, like Bitcoin's chart is pretty clear. Like it's kind of easy to see. Like for a beginner, some of these charts just get more complex, but you can see we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 wave movement. And then after that, you get an ABC corrective down. And then what comes after that? Well, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement up. You have an ABC, and then what comes next? Well, you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement up. That's what's next, and that's why I'm targeting 200K as my next target, because this ABC corrective movement, where's my date range? I'll show you, like, look how long this has taken. So the top of wave 5 was like January of 2025 all the way until now. I mean, we've been in an ABC correct expanding flat for 424 days. So that's why I think that the bottom is close. And based on the daily time frame, I'm going to jump into this, Lance, because I know you had some questions on this. So this is the monthly time frame, but when we jump into the daily time frame, this is what it looks like. You get a more like a clearer picture on what let me get it all in a chart here. So you get a little bit clearer of what sort of the wave count looks like, because we've had this wave B up here and we're in this wave C. So this entire move is the wave C. And in an expanding flat, you get a 5-wave movement down. And what we've had so far is a 1, 2, a 3, a 4, and we're in the 5. Now, of the 5, zooming in a little bit closer, of this wave 5, we're also going to get 5 waves. So within inside of a wave, you also get waves. So you can see right here, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have an ABC. Then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have this complex ABC structure. Then we're going to get another 1, 2, 3. We're in the 4. And then we get one more leg dump. Once that's done, boom, then we start the uptrend, because after an ABC movement, you get a 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement. After a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement, you get an ABC movement. So they just alternate. And for me, that's how I'm able to determine where we're at. Are we at a good, like Ash just said, are we at a good accumulation zone, or are we at a good, position to take profits? And for me, we're almost in an accumulation zone. I'm still waiting. I haven't been dollar cost averaging yet, because I'm still waiting on this right here, this movement down. I'm waiting on that dump. Until then, I'm just being patient. Once we get that dump down, then I'll start dollar cost averaging in. Bashar said, I was looking at Injective after your video the other day, but low-key it seems like it's dying. That's exactly why. That's exactly like, so Elliott wave theory also has some psychology into it. With a deep retracement wave 2, which we're seeing in Injective, wave 2s are typically the doubtful waves, the fearful waves, this thing's going to die, it's going to continue to all-time lows. That's the reason why I think it's going to outperform, is exactly due to the psychology of it. For me, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the wave 2, and then we should see a wave 3 next. And that's exactly going into the psychology of why wave 3 outperforms, because everyone thinks you're going to get this huge bear market correction, but then you reverse and then everyone funnels in. So I see what you mean, but I would just disagree based on the wave count and the psychology of Elliott wave theory. Injective may look like it's dying, but once it wakes up, it's already outperformed in the beginning. It's going to outperform again. And once we see that outperformance, that thing's going to fly, in my opinion. I do still own my Injective. I didn't sell it. When do you think this alt season will come? Once we get the Bitcoin outperformance, or when I say outperformance, I mean like outperforming things like gold, silver, SPX. Once we get that outperformance, we'll probably see Bitcoin lead the way. Obviously, altcoins will still do their thing, but then once Bitcoin kind of enters its sort of topping zone for the wave 3, then altcoins are going to fly, because everyone's going to sell Bitcoin and then find what's undervalued, and typically altcoins lag Bitcoin. And all of that, it's essentially what's going to happen now. Like gold's going to sell off, SPX is going to sell off, silver's going to sell off. They're going to take their profits, and people are going to say, okay, I have my profits. I don't want to sit it in cash, because your dollar value decreases every year because of inflation. So they're not going to put their money in cash. They're going to look for other investments to park it. So what is that? They're going to find undervalued positions. It could be in undervalued stocks. For me, crypto is massively undervalued right now, because you have positions that are down 50, 60, 70, even 80% from their all-time highs. So investors are going to look at that and say, wow, that's a great buying opportunity. I'm going to take advantage of that. They're going to put their money in there. They're going to be considered more of the smart money. And then once Bitcoin starts doing its thing, all the retail is going to funnel in. They're FOMOing into gold right now, which I think is stupid, but they're FOMOing into gold, chasing the shiny object syndrome. And then what's going to happen is gold's going to sell off. They're going to sell at a loss. They're going to funnel into Bitcoin late. some people will make profits, but they'll buy the top, and then everyone that follows theories like this or certain strategies is going to be selling their crypto to retail that's buying late, and then retail is going to get wrecked again. It happens year after year. That's just the nature of it. So I think that once Bitcoin does its thing, altcoins are going to outperform probably over this next year, maybe even into next year. BMNR is a great one too. I did an analysis on that. I got to look at BMNR, what the wave count looks like now, because it's kind of declined a little bit. But MSTR and BMNR for me are good positions. So we're going up before down, or just down, down? No, so we're going. I'm going to counter you, Just Bull. Not counter you, but we're going to go up first, then down, then up. So that's kind of what. Essentially, it's going to look like this on Bitcoin. We're going to have a little bit of a bounce, then we're going to have a down, and then we're going to go up. That's essentially what's next for Bitcoin. So we'll have a little bit of a bounce for the wave C, then we'll get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement down, and then we'll get the massive wave 3. What time frames are the waves visible? All time frames. So the thing about Elliott Wave 3, which is great, is you can use it on any time frame. You can use it on monthly, daily, weekly, 4 hour, 1 hour. I mean, you can technically use it on 15-minute, 5-minute. I think the word is fractal. I think that's what I'm looking for. So it doesn't have a preference. You can use it on any time frame, which is another reason why I love it. For me, I'm more of a long-term investor. I don't like day trade. I don't swing trade. I don't do any of that. I buy and then I hold for a year, 2, 3 years, just depending on how long it takes the position to move. So I use the monthly, daily, and weekly time frame. I will say it's a little bit easier to identify waves on larger time frames because you get more price action, but you can use it on any time frame that you want. There is. There's a time frame which wave 3 should follow based on wave 1. Is it the time-based fib extension? Is that what it is? I've used it before, but I find it really just unreliable. Bottom close? Yes, I do think the bottom comes within the next... I'm hoping by the end of March. I know hope's not a strategy. It's just me personally just thinking, like, I hope it's in the next month, just because I want to start dollar cost averaging in when these prices start going down. But it could take 1 month. It could take 2 months. It could take 3 months. This, for me, is a WXY right now because we have multiple 3-wave movements. But it could turn into... Where's my tool here? It could also turn into this, which is called a WXYXZ. Ideally, we don't want this scenario, but essentially, we would have a W, an X, a Y, another X, another, and then a Z. That's just like that could also be another corrective structure. I don't think that's going to happen, but we could further correct. I don't necessarily see it happening because we have a 3-wave move W, a 3-wave move X, and then we're in almost a 3-wave move Y, and then we should get the dump. Hey bro, let me know about gold for this week. We did a gold analysis. For me, gold's topped. Looking at the long-term time frame, gold is in a massive 30-year 5-wave movement that has gone on since the 70s until today. It's over 30 years by now. We have this massive 5-wave movement. Based on the chart we looked at last week, gold looks to be topping. And honestly, my next target for gold is 3,000. It's like a 30 to 40% decline from where we're at today. What do you think is going to happen to Bitcoin when US 500 corrects down? I mean, for me, this is what's next for Bitcoin. I haven't looked at US 500, so I'm not sure what the correlation is there. But for me, this is what's next. What's the best accumulation zone? For me, 60 to 50K. That's what I'm targeting for dollar cost averaging in. Lance, do they always alternate regardless of the direction? Yes. So it depends on sort of the... thank you, bro. Yeah, absolutely. For me, we can look at it after, or I can also dive in it tomorrow because I honestly wasn't planning on staying on live till 8 p.m. because my wife and I wanted to watch a TV show tonight. But I'm happy to stay a little bit longer because I love this type of stuff. So let me see here. Do they always alternate? Pretty much, yeah. So even on downtrends, you get the same thing. So you get ABC movements like this, for example. Like this right here, you have a 5-wave move down, and then you have an ABC. Then you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a complex 4, but essentially you get an ABC 3-wave movement. Then you get a wave 1, a 3-wave movement, a wave 3, a complex 4, and then you'll get a wave movement. So it always alternates. It's 5-wave moves followed by 3-wave moves. Healthcare. Uh-oh, the chart king. I appreciate that, healthcare. Thank you for the support, and always you make me laugh with your comments, so I really appreciate it. Undercover said, "You're not the only person I've heard this down move from. We are waiting on." Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily follow other creators because I don't want their strategy to confuse my strategy, or I get biased. Like if I look at another creator's strategy and it's like, oh wow, like he thinks this, and then I'm going to factor that. I purely zone everyone out and just focus on the charts and my own thinking because I want to be as authentic as possible and just document sort of my thinking. So I try to tend to stay away from others, but I have heard from other people in the comments before that, you know, a lot of people are thinking the same thing. I may be contrary to others though, because I'm not like thinking that we're going to 30K. For me, the zone is 60 to 50 and then 200K. Nick, the people that are expecting 60,000, 69 was the bottom, is there a chance at all? I mean, it could be. The only way that we invalidate that is if we... Basically, the only way that we invalidate this entire 5-wave move is if we... you can't see it on here. Let me zoom out a little bit. Let me go to the weekly so you can see it. The only way... Actually, wait, no. Hold on. Let me move this. Give me a second. The only way that we invalidate this move right here, this 5-wave move, the only way we invalidate this, and this is the bottom, if price pumps above this wave 1. So if price goes above, I think it's like 87 and some change, if price were to retrace above 87,000, this entire wave count would be off and invalidated, and we'd have to reevaluate. Until then, there's more downside. This to me is a false bottom, and the reason that it's a false bottom is because in order for a true bottom to form, you want to see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movement off the low. That means the bottom's in. For me, we had an ABC movement off the low. That is corrective, and you can see it by this chart. You have an ABC, then you have an ABC, then an ABC. That is indicative of a wave 4. Once we get this final leg down, we'll see something like this off the low, and for me, that's when the low will be in. We could further correct. It's not off the table. Like if we dump down here and we get a ABC movement off, that's not good because further corrections on the table. But that's not my base case. My base case is expanding flat bottom after this 5-wave move, and then we pump up. Okay, answer that. Just go pull up a euphoric greed chart. I mean, I look at it sometimes, but I have macro confluence suggesting it to... Yeah, so my next target after... I think it's still on here. My next target for Bitcoin after this correction's done is 200K. That's my next target on Bitcoin using the Fib extension. 200K is my next target for Bitcoin. Anywhere between really 150 to 200 is a topping zone for me. So good case scenario, when do you see Bitcoin at 100K? I see that within this year, Raj. For me, I think once we bottom here, you know, at 60 to 50K, that I think comes in within the next month or two, and then we'll see big explosive moves off the low. I think for me, with inside of 2026, I do think we start seeing some pretty good price action to the upside. You know, do we top out at 200K by, you know, December? I don't know. It could extend into, you know, 2028. I don't really trade based on price or time. It's more price, but this 5-wave movement could go into 2028, and we could see a 200K Bitcoin by then, or even sooner. For me, it just depends on how price action moves. The hard part for me is to identify the bottoms for each of the waves. Is there an easier way? It really just takes time. That's unfortunately, it just takes time. And that's again why I use larger time frames, because you can see these movements on larger time frames, right? You can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're in the ABC. Larger the time frame, it's a little bit easier to identify sort of waves, but it just takes time and practice, honestly. Supreme said, never seen a gay. Oh wait, what is that? What did he say? Supreme said, never seen a gay trader who have. Well, that question doesn't make any sense, and I'm married, so I don't necessarily know what sort of question that was. But I appreciate the comment, I guess. I don't know. I guess your opinion. What's the time frame for Bitcoin to hit 100K again? For me, I do think we see 100K within inside of 2026. I do think we see that. Do you ever use like 2 to 3x leverage? No. Good question, Grant, but no, I don't really use any leverage. I just do spot. Is MSTR and HMSTR the same thing? I don't know what HMSTR is. What is that? Is that a... Let me see. Let me take out my phone here. Is that like an off HMSTR? No, HMSTR is different than HMSTR. Lance, is there any chance for finishing up the Y pattern in the... Yeah, so for... Yeah, kinda ish. I'm still expecting more of a bounce. So we're close. We're close. Once we top out here and we see some explosive moves to the downside, that's when we'll be topping. Yeah, we can do WIF. Yeah, that was next. So after Bitcoin, we'll do WIF. Yeah, let's jump over to WIF. Sorry, I'm trying to answer a bunch of the questions. They all came in, so I was trying to get some of those questions answered. Let's see. WIF. Let me go to the weekly time frame here. Let me go to the daily. I will say WIF is a little bit cleaner than some of the other newer altcoins. Let's see. I mean, the daily time frame on this wave up kind of gives you some structure. You know, it looks like a wave 1 with this ABC2, then we have a 3, this 4, 5. So technically we do have a 5-wave move there, and this is just a complex. You can see it here. So we have this wave 1 up, and then we have like a ABC down, then you have an ABC up, then you have this sort of an ABC B, and then we have this C. So how far we've corrected? I mean, we're in deep correction territory. But you can see, look at that, it bounced right off the 0.786, which is an interesting target for a wave 2. But I think WIF may come down a little bit lower. You know, I think we see the October lows maybe get taken out. Maybe we come down here and then we start the move up. Now, the next target for WIF, and again, I try not to trade like newer tokens just because they're less consistent than higher price action or more price action tokens, but this is the wave 1. Say we come down to like 0.14, you know, say we take out this low here, we just get one more. Again, a lot of altcoins, you can see it, right? We're seeing this very similar, like Link, XRP, all the altcoins we looked at, you know, we had this big chop, then we had this, a dump, a little bit of a bounce, and then another dump. We're seeing it across all altcoins. But using Elliott wave rules as this being a wave 1, a wave 2, and then the wave 3 is next, the next target for WIF would be like $7 or $8 for WIF. But based on time frame, Bitcoin never had a bear market so brief. Well, we never had institutions investing into Bitcoin either, which is what is, I think, driving a lot of people mad because it's operating very differently. I think a lot of, and this is just a hypothetical again, I don't trade the news, I don't trade anything outside of my strategy, so I'm just kind of spitballing here. But if I'm looking at the structure of Bitcoin, it front ran the ETFs. We had a massive 5-wave move up. Then we're in this big ABC corrective 2. And then we'll probably front run some other narrative, whatever they come up with. But I do think that the price is operating differently than what a lot of people suspected, because if I know everyone likes to talk about the 4-year cycle. You know, Bitcoin repeats the 4-year cycle. The 4-year cycle, it's always good. You know, it does the same thing every year, right? It bottoms in October, then it tops in November, whatever the thing is. Yes, but also Bitcoin's never been in an environment where we have an ETF, where we have countries buying Bitcoin, we have companies buying Bitcoin. Like, it's a very different environment, and that can change things. And again, and however you want to look at it, like, it's not the goal, but like, you have market makers that try to make money off of retail, and they specifically can I don't know if there's much manipulation, but they could manipulate it. But it's like, if every retail trader follows a 4-year cycle, retail traders lose money like 90% of the time. So if they're just following the same shit every year, you see how that can be sort of manipulative to people, where it's like, oh, they're expecting Bitcoin to top in October, and then boom, it tops in January, and then we have this ABC corrective, which is hilarious, because if you think about it, we got to be smart here. You got to think about it smart. You got to outsmart the people. You got to be different than 90% of the people. If you look at Bitcoin, I didn't really have any more analysis on WIF, if I'm being honest. Just the next target for WIF is like $7-8 based on that chart. If you look at Bitcoin, for example, right, you have this front run, sort of the ETF narrative, whatever you want to call it, but you have this massive 5-wave move. And what caught people off guard is they were expecting this, and there's always new things that happen every cycle. Never every cycle doesn't repeat. I remember in 2021, even if we go back to the previous cycle, everyone called this a stunted cycle. Everyone thought what 2017 was going to happen over again, and they were going to have, you know, this run up, a correction, and then this massive run up to 200K. I saw it everywhere. Everyone is expecting the 2017, you know, dip and then massive run up like it did in 2017. What did you get? You got a shallow correction and then a dump. And then what's everyone expecting for Bitcoin now? They're like, oh, it's mirroring 2017 cycle. It's doing the same thing. Okay, what are you expecting? Boom, 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 boom. You get the dip, right? You get the dip and then the massive outperformance at 200K. Well, what happened? You had a 5-wave move. Retail's expecting the top to be in October, November, which technically Bitcoin did top out at an all-time high in that October, November timeframe. Then what happened? Dump. And using Elliott wave theory, you can front run a lot of that, because you can see a 5-wave move. What comes after? An ABC. And then boom, what comes after that? A 5-wave moving up. Everyone thinks bear market. Everyone thinks Bitcoin's going to 20K, going to 15K, going to all this bullshit, whatever you want to call it. And then boom, what do you get? You get a massive outperformance. I mean, for me, that's what's next. I don't know. Tom Lee says it says March will be green. Possible. I mean, again, I don't really look at a lot of the other creators and news stuff out there. I just trade my strategy, and it works well for me. And I try to document it and help other people. So I hope this helps. If it does, great. If it doesn't, I don't know. I just try to do my best. Can you put a time frame on these waves? Yeah. It's hard, Raj. I'm going to be honest. It's really hard. I mean, for me, the wave count from right here, like if we use, where is it? We can try. Where is it? The trend-based fib time. So if this is, you know, a wave 1, and then, do you go to the, I don't know how to use this one, but say the correction stops in March. The 1.618 is what, at 2029? So I don't know. That to me, I don't know how to use it. To me, time's going to be tough. All I know is there's greener pastures on the other side. Any altcoin you invest? I mean, currently I have XRP, I have Chainlink, I have let's see, what else do I have? I have HBAR, Bitcoin, Ethereum. I sold my Render at the top. I still have Injective. I sold my Solana at the top. I have some CeeLo. There's a couple different coins. I'd have to look at my market portfolio. I can't remember. Can you really make money with just spot? Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you were in Bitcoin spot since 2022, you would have already made a 10x from spot, over a course of 3 years. That's a great trade. But yeah, I mean, I was in at Solana at $15 and sold at 225. So that was a little over a 10x, which was a great trade. Time frame for 200K if you think it's going to get there. I mean, for me, again, time, I don't trade based on time. I trade on price. My next target's 200K. Does it take a year to get there? Does it take 2 years to get there? Does it take 3 years to get there? Time's out of my control. The only thing that I can control is educated based decisions based on Elliott wave theory. And for me, the bottom's almost in, and then we should see the up target. Did you call the last bull cycle bottom correctly? I wasn't posting content at that point in time. I bought in at Bitcoin down in here, like this zone right here at the like in the 2022 to 2023 region. I was just dollar cost averaging, like really from here to here. So like this whole zone, I was just constantly buying Bitcoin every week. So I didn't post content at that point. So there wasn't an ability for me to call the bottom correctly. Unfortunately, I just wasn't posting content. Was that 3 years ago? I wasn't doing that. But moving forward, I am posting content now and I go live. So I have been pretty good. I mean, I don't know. You can ask the community that has been in the lives and been following my content for the past couple months. I mean, humbly, I like to think that I've been pretty spot on with these moves and have documented the whole process down ever since December, really, is when I started posting content on this stuff. And I feel like I've done a great job of documenting and calling sort of these waves lower. But again, I won't speak for myself. I'll let sort of the community speak for me. Does Elliott wave not consider moving averages? No. So there's no moving averages, no RSI, well, at least I don't use it. I don't use it in any way. Thoughts on Tesla tomorrow? What's going on with Tesla tomorrow? Do they have earnings or something? What happens if we just dump from here? I don't think we do that. Again, I am expecting one wave lower, but I'm not expecting something like this. And I think this is what a lot of people are expecting. Again, I am contrary to most people, and it works well for me because if you're siding with 95% of what retail does, they're typically wrong. I think what people think is going to happen is we're just going to go straight down. I don't see that happening. Based on the analysis and the wave count right now, 60 to 50K is a bottoming zone. Then we start the up wave. And I think what's going to happen is once we bottom at 60 to 50K, we'll get an initial wave one push off the low. Then we'll get a wave two. Everyone will think this wave two is the dead cat bounce and that we're going to go down to 30K. Everyone's going to be like, hey, look, a bounce, retrace. That's what everyone's going to be talking about. And I'm contrary to that. And I think we're going to have a wave one, a wave two, and then we'll get this massive wave three, wave four, and a wave five up to 200K. That's what's next for me for Bitcoin. How do you know you have the start of a new Elliott wave? So you look for major zones of, it's hard to explain. You look for major zones of increase and decrease, and that essentially allows you to start the wave. So for like this, for example, you have a wave one, a wave two. Those are clear two distinct waves, and then you have a 3, a 4, and a 5. And then you have an ABC after. So using that as a guide on the monthly time frame, it makes sense. But if you dive into these on the weekly time frame, you can also further analyze waves within inside of waves. And the way that I can showcase this is within inside of this initial wave one back in 2022 to 2023. You have a wave one, a two, a three, a four, and a 5. So for me, that was a start of a wave one. Then you have an ABC corrective 2. And then you have another, 3 wave, and inside of this, you have a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 4, and then a 5. So like, you just dive into smaller time frames and identify just zones that are, swing highs, swing lows. Then you use that to start your wave count. If you were to buy Bitcoin now, where would it be at? I'm waiting for the drop, so I haven't bought any yet. Not bought any additional, I should say. For me, I'm waiting for this. I'm not buying until this happens. So until we get this dump, I'm not, until we get a 5-wave movement down, I'm waiting for this bounce to be done. And then we'll get a wave 1, a wave 2, and then on the wave 3, that's when I'll dollar cost average in. So once we get this initial push down, we'll get a wave 2, and then we'll get a wave 3. I'll probably dollar cost average somewhere down here, and then we'll get a wave 4, and then a wave 5, and then I'll dollar cost average on this wave 5 down. So I'm just waiting for the dump. Healthcare, he's the goat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Absolutely. You have been very informational. Bless you and whoever taught you. Thank you. I'm self-taught. So all this was from books, from self-taught study, and just a lot of trial and error and practice and just studying charts and learning. But I appreciate the support for sure. I try to be as authentic as possible and as real as possible. Do you think in this last dump you should be fully invested? I don't. So again, I don't have my series licenses anymore. I was a financial advisor back in the day, so I did have my series licenses. I could legally provide investment advice, so I don't have those anymore, so I can't legally provide it. I will say, in my opinion, based on the wave count, based on the structure, if you're going to want to get into altcoins or Bitcoin on this last leg dump, they are, to me, great buying opportunities for the next wave up and long term. That's just, again, that's my opinion. I'm going to be taking advantage of these prices because it's very hard to wait and be patient for them. But when they come, you got to hit it hard because that's the time that you make a lot of money. Buy at that, I would wait for like 1,700 to 1,400. You think Bitcoin will at least hit 150K this year? Tough to tell, Kelly. Again, I don't trade based on time. I trade based on price. It very much could. My next target is 200K. Does that happen in 2026? Does it happen in 2027? Very hard for me to tell. I don't know of any strategy that tells you like when things will happen, but good things on the horizon, I will say. Once we bottom here, again, this whole fucking, I need to watch. I'm trying to not cuss. I'm trying to not cuss. That's what I'm giving up for Lent. I'm trying not to cuss, so I'm really working on it. But this entire structure has been corrective for over a year. So we have, this A wave, B wave, and C wave, which has been what I think caught a lot of people off guard here because they thought that this was the correction, and then we get a 3-wave movement up, and everyone thought we were going to, 150 here. And then next thing you know, you get this A, B, C corrective. And that's why you see price moving very slow because corrections happen over a long period of time. And it's been 400 days for this entire correction. So it's taking a really long time. But once we see these impulses off the low, that'll happen a lot quicker than this correction. So it could, be within this year. You're the man for real. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support. How much percent can the next wave of the big 3 make approximately? What's the rules for it? Basically, you just have to wait till wave 1 happens. And then when wave 1 happens, you can project a 3. But, maybe somewhere, towards like, I don't know, in this range, maybe like 94. But until wave 1 happens, it's really hard to tell. Love the lives. Thank you. Enjoy the TV show with the wife. Yeah, I'm about to jump off here because I promised her we would watch TV tonight. So we're watching Traders. If you guys haven't watched Traders I think it's on Peacock, great show. We do really enjoy it. It's a good show that both of us like to watch. So wanted to watch the season finale tonight because we didn't get a chance last week. So I was going to go watch that with her because she was at work all day, so I wasn't able to see her. But I will be live tomorrow. So same time, 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. I will be live tomorrow. And I'll cover charts that we missed today because I wasn't able to get to all of them. So we'll cover some more of those tomorrow for sure. Can't wait for tomorrow. I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll look at everything. Whatever you guys want to look at, I'm happy to take a dive into. Do we keep slashing? I'm just waiting for, basically for Bitcoin, I'm waiting for a bounce to like 72K and then a dump to like 60 to 50. That's sort of my next thing. Let's start with Litecoin tomorrow because I'm going to jump off and go watch TV. But I'm going to start with Litecoin tomorrow. Is that I'm going to mispronounce that name, but I'll put Litecoin down as the one that we start with tomorrow to make sure that I get that covered. Thanks. At 6 p.m. Yeah, 6 p.m. to like 6:30 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. That's when I'll be live again on TikTok, and I'll have both the vertical and horizontal format. study up on Flare. Okay, have a good night. Oh, for those of you that are interested too, while I have you on the live before I get off, I will probably starting either tomorrow or Wednesday, I'm going to be doing long form YouTube videos. So for those of you that are interested in like deep dive analysis, I'll be taking like Bitcoin, MSTR, Ethereum, PayPal, like both crypto and stocks, and doing like a 10 to 20 minute video deep diving on those specific assets so that you guys can watch it more on a long form content as opposed to just the short form clips that I do on TikTok. I want to get a lot of just longer form content on there. So if you're interested in that, feel free to go check me out on YouTube. If you go to the link in my TikTok bio, I have my link tree in there. All my socials are there. But I am going to start posting a lot of long form YouTube content that'll dive on, you know, say we take Bitcoin, for example. I'll do a full analysis on the monthly time frame, the daily, the weekly, just so you guys can get a full picture of, okay, where are we at on the wave count? Where, you know, are some buy zones? Where are some sell zones based on the you know, the current wave count? But if you're interested in that, feel free to go check out the YouTube because I'm going to start posting those videos probably this week. Have a great night. I appreciate it. Wear the sunscreen. You should see my back. It's peeling. I mean, my entire back is peeling. It was, it's pretty bad. I mean, my upper arm's got a little tan, and I mean, I'm pasty as fuck, so you can't. I need to stop cussing. I am very pasty. Greatly appreciate it. Absolutely. Okay, have a good night. See you tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely. We'll start with Litecoin tomorrow. Thanks, brother. Thanks, Raj. I appreciate it. I hope that was helpful because I know we were kind of texting on the side, so I hope that cleared up some stuff. The Ripper, the legend is back. What up, Nick? How was vacay? Hey, Ripper, what's going on? You joined late. I'm actually jumping off now, but vacay was amazing. I appreciate the support, Rippler. I know. I mean, it's great to be back. It's great to be back. While vacay was awesome, the Caribbean is a great time for those of you that have been there or planning on going there. Wear sunscreen or buy t-shirts because that sun is no joke. That shit. It will cook you. So just wear a t-shirt, wear sunscreen. But it was amazing. It's great to be back hanging out with y'all on the live. Richard, have a good night. I hope you enjoyed your trip. Thanks, Richard. I appreciate it. I'll be live tomorrow, so look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. And then obviously I'll be posting my Bitcoin update tomorrow morning as I normally do every single day. So if there's any updates on Bitcoin, just depending on what the price does overnight, I'll be sure to update y'all tomorrow. But have a great night. I will see you guys tomorrow, and we'll start with Litecoin tomorrow. There we go.